how we can write the program? In program, each and every word has some meaning, some fixed meaning. When compiler execute the program, so compiler mainly categorize all these words into smallest units, and these smallest individual units in our programming is called as a C tokens. And these tokens are mainly categorized into 6 different categories, and today we will see these 6 different categories with example. So first of all, start with very first category, that is keywords. Now what do you mean by keywords? Keywords means predefined words, or we can say the fixed meaning of the word. When compiler execute the program, all the keywords are defined already. So compiler automatically understand all these words, and it is also called as a reserved word. And in C programming there are 32 keywords we have to remember. Just remember the previous video lecture. In programming we have write one data type as a float. So float is nothing but one keyword, that is predefined. Then integer is also example of keyword. Then void is also example of keywords. So we have total different 32 keywords. Just remember all the keywords. Now next, second token is a identifier. So what is identifiers? Identifiers are nothing but our variables name. And in practical session we have write one program that find the area of circle, right? So for that we have taken two different variables. One A is for area and R for radius. So A and R are called as an identifier, and these has not fixed meaning, or these identifiers are not predefined. User can define as per his or her choice of identifier's name, but for that identifier we have to remember some rules. We can define by our own choice, but by following some rules. So which are the rules we have to follow? So our first rule is only have a alphanumeric characters and underscore. Means when you define one identifier, it is a combination of alphanumeric, means you can use alphabet, you can use numeric value, and you can also use underscore. Suppose take one example like A1. So we can declare like integer A1. So this is our first rule that we have to follow. Then what is the second rule? The first character only contain alphabet or underscore. Means in previous I have said that we can write the example like A1, but we can't write 1A because first character never be numeric value. It will be always alphabet or underscore. What is the next rule? Keyword cannot be used as an identifier's name. Means keywords already you have learned that it is a predefined or reserved word. So integer is a one keyword. So we can't take our variable name as an integer because it is a keyword. Same way void is also one keyword. So we can't take our variable name as a void. So remember this thing. Then after next is a case sensitive. Why case sensitive? Because if you declare in declaration part as a capital A and in execution part you use small a, then it is not possible because C language is a case sensitive language and identifier is also case sensitive. That's why. Then after no special characters used in our identifier's name. Now what is special characters? Suppose semicolon, dot, colon, hash, curly bracket, all are the special characters. So in our variable name we can't use that type of characters. Remember this thing. And length should be not more than 31 characters. Means if you declare one identifier, then maximum length of that variable is only 31. If you write 32 characters in a single identifier's name, then it is not possible. So you must have to follow these defined rules for defining identifiers. And here you can see the example like A, capital X, area, all are the examples of identifiers. Now next is a constants. Constant means fixed value. Keywords means fixed meaning of the particular word, and constant means fixed value. So remember the difference between keywords and constant. So constant is bifurcate into two categories. First is a numeric constant and second is a character constant. Now numeric constant is again divided into two categories. First is a integer constant and second is a real constant. Means if you want to store the value 10 as a fixed value of variable, then it is called as a integer constant, means integer value. And if you want to store real number like 10.5, 5.5, 7.5, this type of value will be used using real constant. Next is a character constant. Character constant store the characters and it is again divided into two parts. First is a single characters and second is a string. Now what do you mean by single character? If I want to assign a fixed character like capital A, so it is a single character? Yes. So it is called as a single character constant. But remember one thing, when you want to assign a single character as a constant value, you must have to write the character in a single quote. And what is string? String is a multiple character, means it is a combination of characters. Your name is the example of string. Suppose I am writing hi. So in hi, H and I, more than one characters, right? So it is an example of string. And for string you have to remember that always we have to write in double quotes. For single character you have to write in single quote, and for string you have to write double quotes. And for numeric constant we don't require any types of quotes. Next is a operators. We have already learned in features of C that C contains rich set of library function and rich set of operators. So here in this chapter our next video will be on operators and we have to learn total 8 different types of operators. So here I am writing only 3 to 4 examples like arithmetic operators, logical operators, relational operators, etc. And the examples are plus, minus, greater than, less than, all are the examples of operators which we will study further in next videos. Our next token is a special symbols. Now what is special symbols? Special symbols are used in a C for some special meanings. Now just remember the programming session. First of all we write hash. So hash is a one special symbol. Hash means pre-processing. It has a fixed meaning. It is used for pre-processing. Then in main function always we write the code in opening closing curly bracket. So it is also called as a special symbol. Then semicolon. A semicolon is used for statement termination. In main function when we write the statement, that all statements always ending with semicolon, right? So this semicolon means our statement is ending here. So these all types are special symbols, also called as a token. And our last token is string, and string is nothing but, as I discussed in constant, that it is a character constant and sequence of characters that is treated as a single data item. It is called as a string, and here the example hello is a type of string. Hope guys you understand all the tokens very well. In exam you have to write 6 different types of tokens with appropriate examples. Now move to the next topic, and our next topic is different data types. So data types is mainly categorized into 3 major categories. First is a primary data type, second is a derived data type, and third is a user defined data type. So let's see in detail. First data type is primary data types. What is primary data types? Predefined data types or inbuilt data type is called as a primary data types. Means this data type is already defined in our C programming. User don't require to create this data type, and these primary data types is mainly divided into 4 categories. So first category is a integer, then second is a float, third category is character, and last is a void. Already we have used one data type float in our previous practical session. That float is used for real number, and integer is used for decimal number. So this integer again divided into 2 parts. One is a signed integer and second is a unsigned integer. What do you mean by signed integer? Suppose I am writing -5, -10, then the sign of minus is required before the number. Same way I am writing +5, then sign is required. So this type of number is called as a signed integer. And what do you mean by unsigned integer? Suppose I am starting number from 0, then plus sign is not mandatory to require, but when you want to write minus number, then minus sign is mandatory. So when you start the number from 0, then it is called as a unsigned integer. And signed and unsigned integer also divided into 3 categories. First is a integer, second is a short integer, and third is a long integer. And we will see later that how it will work, short integer and long integer. This part is considered as its range value, that we can store small number in our short integer. In long integer we can store maximum integer value in this way. Next is a float. Float means real value, and it is also divided into 3 categories. First is a float, second is a double, and third is a long double. And these all data types have some specific range. And last is a character, and character is also divided into signed character and unsigned character. What do you mean by signed and unsigned? We will see in next table. And void. Void is nothing but used for returning null, and it will always used in a function. In main function we can use like void main. Same way in user defined function also we can use it. Now let's see the table, and this table we have to remember, because if you want to write any program using primary data types, then you have to knowledge about the data type's name, then control string, then bytes means size in the memory, and last is a range. Now what do you mean by bytes? When we declare our variable using any of the data type, then compiler will allocate some memory for particular variable. So for these all different data types, memory in bytes are different. So we have to remember this thing. And what do you mean by range? So when you declare one variable as an integer, then one specific range, maximum limit and minimum limit is already defined. We have to follow this limit at our runtime. When you enter the input and at runtime, then you have to remember this limit. So first is a signed integer. Signed integer means here you can enter also negative value. And control string. What do you mean by control string? When you want to print the value of any variable, then we can't directly print it. We have to remember the control string for particular data type. So when you using signed integer, %d is the control string for that. And what is the size in memory? It is a 2 bytes, and 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So here in bits form it is a 16 bits. And what is the range? Range is -32,768 to 32,767. Means we can enter the value of our variable between these 2 ranges only in signed integer. Then next is a unsigned integer, and unsigned integer is always starting from 0. So the range of unsigned integer is 0 to 65535. And the control string for unsigned integer is %u. Just remember the u of unsigned for control string, and the same size of unsigned integer, it is a 2 bytes in memory. Then third is a float. Float is a real data type and percentage %f is used for float data type, and the range is 3.4 e minus 38 to 3.4 e plus 38, means 3.4 into 10 raised to minus 38 to 3.4 into 10 raised to plus 38, and the size in memory of float is a 4 byte, almost double to the integer, because here we can store the real number. Then after double is a bigger than float, and percentage %lf is the control string for double type data type, and the size in memory is 8 bytes, and this is the range 1.7 e minus 308 to 1.7 e plus 308. And last is a character, signed character and unsigned character. For both, control string is %c and size in memory is 1 byte only. So it is the smallest data type among all the data types. You confused, right? For character, how we can define this integer range? So in keyboard, all the characters have a particular one number, and this number is called as a ASCII number. So this range is of the ASCII number. Suppose you enter capital A, so the ASCII value of capital A is 65. So 65 is in the range of minus 128 to 127. In this way, we have to remember the range of characters. And for void, you don't have to remember anything like control string, size or range. Now next is a derived data type. So what is derived data type? The data type which are derived from the primary data types is called as a derived data type. Already we have seen primary data types. So here the examples are, first is a array, second is a function, and third is a pointer. So these all are the units, these all are the modules we have to learn in later. So first of all, what is array? Array is a one variable in which we can store multiple values together of the same data types. So this is the example of derived data type. How? Because for declaring array you have to use integer, character or float, and these integer, character and float are nothing but they all are primary data types. Then function. So function is a part of our program. Just remember void main. What is void main? Main is a one function. Same way we can define our user defined function, right? So this chapter also we have to learn in our upcoming videos. And last is a pointer. So pointer is a one variable that is used to store the address of another variable, and for declaring a pointer also we have to use integer, float, character, etc. That's why it is called as a derived data type. And last is a user defined data type. What is user defined data type? The data type which are defined by user, means us. They all are called as a user defined data types, and some examples are, first is a structure. So what is structure? Structure is used to store multiple values in a single variable but of different data types. It is opposite to the array. In array we can store multiple values together but of same data type, where in structure we can store multiple values of different data types, and we can create it our own way. That's why it is called as a user defined data type. Then second is a type def. What do you mean by type def? Type def is used to give the new name to the existing data type. Means integer is a one existing data type, but if we want to give the name of our name as a data type, then it is possible using type def. And last is a enum. What is enum? Enum is used to assign the name to our integer constant. So these all are the examples of user defined data type. So here our video lecture is completed. We have to remember mainly three different data types: primary, derived and user defined data type. Hope guys you understand this lecture very well. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you so much.